Welcome to Political Musings on this Monday, Election Eve for 2024. We have so much to talk about, but we're going to start with, because last week was Halloween, Trump cosplay. It's been since we've last spoken. I know we played an archive last week, but I've been very busy running a polling site as the alternate lead clerk. So that's the second in command at a polling site here in Texas. During early voting, we're called alternate lead clerks as opposed to alternate judges, which I will be presiding judge tomorrow. My alternate will be the friend who I call her friend now because of this. In 2020, she was the presiding and I was the alternate on election day. So now tomorrow, Jennifer Moulton, is going to be my alternate. And the way that happens is it depends on how things go in the previous general election for that particular precinct, whether you have a Republican in charge or a Democrat in charge. So I'm guessing we flipped in the last election this precinct because now I'm the presiding and she's the alternate. So that's good news for us. But I'll be busy tomorrow. I was busy for the last 2 weeks. And so many things happened. So many things to talk about. Let's start with Trump cosplaying as a fry cook. I am not making this up. This really happened.
We have to lower it in, and then we'll give it time. Now, within a couple of seconds, right there we go. Slowly, gently lower it into the oil. Don't want to burn yourself. Stop. Down a little bit further. Touch. There you go.
She specifically worked at the French fry, where they make the French fries, and she talked about the heat. It was so tough. She never worked at McDonald's.
And then bottom.
I'm going to address what she just said. She never worked at McDonald's. There's no proof. Okay. And I'm going to now introduce you to my board op, Chance. Chance, you got a
Yeah, I'm here with you.
camera on you? Yeah, but put your microphone and your camera on.
Okay, I can't get the camera to pop up, but I definitely am here with you.
All right, so that's Chance. He's my board op. Now,
Yes, hello.
this whole thing is because Kamala Harris said when I believe she was in college, she worked at McDonald's as a fry cook. And they're saying, oh, it's a lie. First of all, who the fuck lies about being a fry cook at McDonald's? Who says that? And who, they're saying, well, she's never put on a resume. So, Chance.
Yes.
Do you have any jobs that you maybe worked when you were very young and didn't put on your resume?
Absolutely. Right now, as you know, I am a sound engineer, and when I was younger, I definitely was not a sound engineer, and so there's certain resumes you make that are catered towards the jobs you need, and I definitely wouldn't put that I worked on Subway for my sound engineer resume.
I worked at Sonic as a car hop. I can tell you not once have I ever put, I don't even think I put it on an application.
Yeah.
That when I was 14, I was a car hop at Sonic. So here.
Maybe when you're 15 and getting your next job, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris was a law clerk. I'm sure she put that on her resume kind to get the job.
True.
As assistant district attorney, and from there to DA and prosecuting attorney, and then attorney general, and then she was a senator, and then she was vice president. I can think of none of those jobs would she ever put fry cook on the resume. It's so absurd. But let's see some more of this clip.
Never even. This is not a normal situation, is it? Huh? Oh, what a good-looking family. How did you produce this good-looking kid? Can we go to the Trump store? They have a Trump store. I don't know. People open up Trump stores all over the country.
All right. Stop sharing that. Yeah. It's insane. Trump cosplays a fry cook. A fry cook. Okay. And now I do want to show you the Colin Allred team. And I'm just going to share this image with you. Here we have for those of you who may not know. This is the Colin Allred team. Colin Allred is running for U.S. Senator against Ted Cruz. And so for Halloween, they all went as Can Cruz. That's how Ted Cruz was dressed. And what he looked like pictures taken of him. As he was fleeing the state of Texas. Fleeing. During what we refer to as Snowmageddon. Now, during this time, Texans were freezing to death, literally. Hundreds of people died. And Ted Cruz, instead of doing his job, like the power out, let's just take the kid. And then he gets called out on it because somebody snaps a picture. Hey, isn't that Ted Cruz? Somebody gets video of him at the airport leaving for Cancun. And he says, I was just escorting my daughter. So he blames it on the daughter. And then neighbors shot a picture of the poor little puppy in the front window. He left his, what is it with Republicans and abusing their pets? He left the poor puppy to freeze in their freezing cold house. So we didn't have the whole state, the whole grid in Texas went down. And then they charged super high prices in those places where they were allowed to get away with it in Texas. The energy bills were skyrocketing. So I love that for Halloween, here's the Colin Allred campaign cosplaying as Cancun Cruz. But let's go to some other things. Back in the 1930s, there was a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden. And the Trump campaign last week decided that it would have their own Madison Square Garden Nazi rally. And you say, oh, you shouldn't call them Nazis. But when you're doing Nazi shit and you're quoting Hitler and you're saying Hitler did some good things and your whole campaign message is got Nazi overtones to it, and you do a Nazi rally at Madison Square Gardens, yeah, we're gonna call you a Nazi because you're acting like a Nazi. But here's the one that might have changed. Just some highlights of this thing, but we're going to talk a little more about the first clip on the back end. Let's get this one. This is an insult comic, I guess, trying to be funny is what we're going to start with.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Kamala's gross incompetence disqualifies her from being president. Everyone knows she is a very low IQ individual.
It's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ.
She's a fake, a fraud. She's a pretender. Her and her pimp handlers will destroy our country.
Kamala has imported criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums and mental institutions from all around the world.
She is the devil, whoever screamed that out. She is the Antichrist. President Trump, in what he has experienced, knows that Jesus Christ is king.
I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. I don't see no stinking domestic terrorists in here.
Out of character for me to speak at a Nazi rally. I was just in Israel, but I took the gig. She is some sick bastard, that Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a bitch. The whole fucking party, a bunch of degenerates, lowlives, Jew haters, and lowlives.
You have to tell Kamala Harris that you've done a terrible job. Kamala, you're fired. Get out. Get out.
All right. So that was little highlights of that rally. But because of that, Biden said, you know, because of that first thing where the guy says there's a floating island of garbage called Puerto Rico, there has been huge backlash. But also, Biden said the only garbage I see are his supporters. Well, he was referring to the people on the stage. Not necessarily, but let me just stop that. Let me back the truck up. If you, after everything, after all the women who have accused the man of sexual assault, and a jury has found him guilty of sexual abuse, of rape. And we had more. We're going to get to that later, but we had a lot more that came out in the last couple of weeks. And we found out, apparently Epstein got some pictures and videos of Trump that he was possibly blackmailing him with. And Trump had Barr confiscate that, but we're going to get to that later. If you've watched all this and you've watched all the crime and you saw January 6th and the attempt at a violent coup organized with a bunch of fucking Nazis, and you have a Nazi rally, and you as a voter said, yeah, that's my fucking guy. That's my guy. If you're still supporting that after the last 9 long goddamn years, yeah, you're fucking garbage. You're garbage. I'll say it. They're going to attack Biden and Harris for calling out the garbage, saying that's garbage. No, I'm in 100% agreed. If you're still behind this guy after all that, yeah, you're garbage. And you may not be a fascist, but you don't have a problem with it. You may not be a sexual predator, but you don't have a problem with it. And if you don't, you're fucking garbage. You are garbage. But because of that, because Biden called him out, Trump then cosplays as a garbage man. So let's watch a little. Let's watch a little bit of that.
250 million people are not garbage. I can tell you who the real garbage is, but
I'm going to stop right there. 250 million people. First of all, there's only like 350 million or so people in the entire country, and 2/3 of them do not support Donald Trump. Let's just look at how the popular vote went. So I'm going to stop sharing. Let's look at the popular vote in 2020. Donald Trump got less than 75 million votes. And trust me, after January 6th, he lost a whole boatload of supporters after January. So it's lower than that. It's lower than 74 million. And not only that, he lost a ton of his own cabinet members resigned on January 6th. Yeah, that's right. I have never in my life seen this many Republicans. We got a new one, Barbara Bush, the daughter of George W. Bush, has now endorsed Donald Trump. But I have never seen anything like this where we have this many people who are Republicans. And not just Republicans, his own vice president, his chief of staff, who said he's a fascist, his chairman of the Joint Chiefs called him a fascist. I mean, these are people who worked for him, and they're all saying, yeah, he's a fascist. Yeah, he's pretty much garbage. So he's cosplaying as a garbage man for Halloween. Let's see a little more of that.
we won't say that.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Full camera.
Right here. Keep commenting. Nice.
He's cosplaying as a garbage man for Halloween. I don't even know where to begin. I don't know where to begin. It's unreal. And so then another thing happened. Yeah, we had all the Halloween nonsense. I'll tell you who I went as Halloween, because I was still working the polls. I was Randy Rainbow, and I have the sequin blazer. I made myself a little red bow tie out of some ribbon. I have pink cat eye glasses that I wore, and it was the first time that I got the attention for what I was wearing, because one of my clerks, who I adore, Dee, she had a different Stars and Stripes patriotic themed outfit every day that she worked. And they were amazing. And then she came in with her husband, and her husband had a matching shirt that was all stars and stripes and sparkly glittery, which I love. But yeah, Halloween costumes aside, this is what we got from Trump. Was he cosplayed a McDonald's worker, and he cosplayed a garbage man. Okay, sure. Whatever. All right, now, another thing that happened, well, once again, Trump's been going around talking about how great Xi Jinping is. Let's watch one clip of that. I think this is from the Joe Rogan show podcast.
When I called President Xi, they said, he called President Xi brilliant. Well, he's a brilliant guy. He controls 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. I mean, he's a brilliant guy, whether you like it or not. And they go crazy.
Right.
Say,
it doesn't mean he's not evil, or it doesn't mean he's not
of course not.
Dangerous.
But actually, we have evil people in our country.
Yes.
Okay. So he thinks it's fantastic that Xi Jinping rules with an iron fist. He is telling you who he is. He's saying the words out loud. This is who he wants to be. He praises dictators over and over and over again. I don't know where to start. That's just one. Well, it turns out we've had a couple of clips, choice clips from Speaker Mike Johnson. One where he says we're going to get rid of Obamacare, you know, with a concept of a plan, I guess. And one where he says we're going to repeal the Chips and Scientists Act. Millions of people got jobs because of the Chips and Science Act. Millions of people. So what Mike Johnson says, yeah, screw your jobs. We don't like it because Democrats did it. They did something really successful, something that a lot of people really like and helped a whole bunch of people, like Obamacare and the Chips and Science Act. So let's get rid of that, because I don't give a shit about any of you. We only care about ourselves and sticking it to the liberals. So here is Vice President Harris responding to Speaker Johnson saying he's going to repeal the Chips and Science Act.
On the comments from the speaker, he walked back initially saying that they would repeal the CHIPS Act, but he still wants to impose changes to the bill. Are you concerned about Republicans seeking any changes to the CHIPS Act?
Well, let's be clear why he walked it back, because it's not popular. and their agenda is not popular. And that's why people are showing up by the thousands, tens of thousands, to talk about an agenda that actually is focused on lifting them up. That's why I have the support of, yes, Democrats and independents and Republicans, because they want a president of the United States who stops playing politics with their lives. They want a president of the United States who invests in affordable health care, regardless of who they vote for. They want a president of the United States who invests in American manufacturing and American workers. And that's the work I will do.
All right. So, yeah, that was Harris's flawless response to Mike Johnson saying he wants to repeal the Chips and Sciences Act. So, yeah, they walked back. Johnson walked back both of those statements about Chips and Science and Obamacare. But they're really still talking about changing it, and they don't have a plan. They never had a plan. This has been the Republican Congress of the last 2 years has done nothing. They have achieved nothing to help the people because they don't care. They just want to own the libs. Because, I don't know, they're toddlers. They're just toddlers. And they think, if it helps people, we don't want Democrats getting credit for it. So we have to get rid of that, even though it's a good thing and people like it. And then they get really attacked for it with good reason. All right. Another thing that has happened in the midst of a whole bunch of new accusers of sexual assault against Donald Trump, we got Amy Doris, a former model, told The Guardian Trump forcibly kissed and groped her at the U.S. Open in 1997. Yeah, that happened. Stacey Williams told The Guardian that she met Trump in 1992 through Jeffrey Epstein. She was dating Jeffrey Epstein at the time, didn't understand who Jeffrey Epstein was, I guess. And Epstein took her up to Trump Tower, where they seemed to play some sort of game where Trump was groping and forcibly, groping her butt and her breasts. It was some sort of sick game they were playing. And then we have Alva Johnson, former Trump campaign aide, is suing Trump for sexual assault. And apparently there's a video of him kissing her. So, yeah, in the midst of all that, guess what's made the rounds on TikTok? Introducing to a new generation of voters the Access Hollywood tape. Let's just... I've got here what is the Trump being shown the Access Hollywood video during his deposition in the E. Jean Carroll trial, and listen to his response afterwards.
Are you familiar, I'm sure you are, with something that's often referred to as the Access Hollywood tape?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's mark it and play it as 35.
And she used to be great. She's still very beautiful. I moved on her, actually. She was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and fuck her. She was married.
It's huge news there.
No, Nancy.
Yeah.
No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where there's some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there, and she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look.
Jeez, your girl's hot as shit. In the purple.
Whoa!
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes, the Donald has scored.
Whoa!
Oh, my man. Wait, you gotta look at me when you get out.
Never sets this up.
That is very.
You give me the thumbs
Look
up.
at you. You are a.
You gotta put the thumbs up. You gotta get the thumbs up.
Can't be too happy. Else off first? Yeah, let me.
It's very
You
funny.
gotta give me the thumbs up.
You and I will walk there.
Oh my God.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the publicist. No, it's her.
Yeah, that's her with the gold. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Look at those legs. All I can see is the legs.
No, it looks good.
Come on, Shorty.
Ooh, nice legs, huh?
Oof, get out of the way, honey. That's good legs. Go ahead.
It's always good if you don't fall out of the bus. Like Ford, Gerald Ford, remember?
Down below. Pull the hand.
Doesn't know how to.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Trump, how
nice
are
seeing
you?
you. Terrific.
Pleasure to meet you.
Terrific. You know Billy Bush?
How are you?
Nice to see you. How you doing, Ariane?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Are you ready to be a soap star?
We're ready. Let's go. Make me a soap star.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the
Would you
bus.
like a little
Okay,
hug, darling?
absolutely.
How about a
Melania
little
said
hug
this
for the
was
bushy? I
okay.
just got...
That's you in that video, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And am I correct that that video was recorded in January, withdrawn? Am I correct that that video was recorded in September 2005?
I guess that would, I don't know the date, but whatever date it was is fine with me.
And am I correct that you were engaged to your current wife sometime in 2004?
I don't know.
Am I correct that you married your current wife in January 2005?
I don't know relative to that tape, no.
And the person you were speaking to, it's now famous, in that video was Billy Bush?
That's right.
Please
This is very old news, fully litigated during debates, during everything else, fully litigated.
Okay.
And you know what I said then, and I say it now? Locker room talk. That was locker room talk.
Okay.
That's what goes on.
And you did say in the video that you, quote, moved on her heavily, correct?
Excuse me?
You do say in the video that you, quote,
Yeah.
moved on her heavily.
I did say that, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And you do say in the video that as part of trying to have sex with this woman, you took her furniture shopping, correct?
We actually did look for furniture, yes.
So that was true. You actually took this woman, Nancy.
I think so. I mean,
furniture
it's been
shopping.
a long time ago. It's how long is that? A long time ago. But I think so. I do think so.
Is that the only occasion when you took a woman shopping?
I think so.
And you say, and again, this has become very famous in this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's. If you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
And now you said before, a couple of minutes ago, that this was just locker room talk.
It's locker room talk.
And so does that mean that you didn't really mean it?
No, it's locker room talk. I don't know. It's just the way people talk.
Okay. So he admits it. He says, you know, I just grab, you can do anything when you're a star. And he says he thinks he's a star and he thinks he has a right to grab women by the pussy or anything else. He believes, and you can see it in the way he responds. Yeah, it's locker room talk. But he's not denying that he did any of these things. He's saying, because I'm a star, which he is not, he has a right to sexually assault women. And this video is making the rounds on TikTok because 9 years ago, these Gen Z voters that, I saw so many of them during early voting, so many people who had just turned 18 in the last couple of years, that they're now seeing the Access Hollywood tape. They didn't see it because they were just kids, and it's pretty crude. So they might not have seen this. Now they're all seeing it going, oh my God. He thinks he can grab women by the pussy. Y'all remember 2017, we had the pink crocheted hats, pink knitted hats. We called them pussy hats that we wore to anti-Trump marches, to women's marches. Yeah. Oh, and there was a women's march this weekend on Saturday. They have it all over the country. I didn't go. I got to tell you, early voting in Texas, at least in my county, we worked from Monday, October 21st through last Friday, November 1st. And every day but Sunday is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that means for me, since where I was working was 20 minutes away, I had to get up at 5 a.m., leave the house by 6, drive 20 minutes to get to the polls, and then it was 20 minutes to get home, leaving the polling place about 7:30. So I was working about a 14-hour day every day for 11 days, and then 7 hours on Sunday, and I was exhausted. So forgive me, I was too tired to go march in the women's rally on Saturday, or I would have. I was just exhausted. I laid in bed and caught up on my soaps and caught up on, on news and things that every day when you get home and you've had a 14-hour day, you barely get into bed and fall asleep almost immediately. So I'd missed a bunch of stuff. And so I missed the march because I was just too tired. Well, let's see what else happened. Van Jones, and I love this one. Van Jones summed it up perfectly, the difference between what is expected of her and what is expected of him. Let's watch this clip.
Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are not taking the same exam.
Yeah.
And I think it bothers people. They're not taking the same exam. He gets to be lawless. She has to be flawless. That's what's unfair. That's what's unfair. That's what's unfair tonight. That's what's unfair tonight. They're not taking the same exam. Look, she has policies. She may not articulate them perfectly every time. She may not put the stories in the right places, but she's fighting for actual ideas that will help real people. And he's talking about people's penises. And so they are not taking the same exam, and that's pissing people off. It's pissing me off.
Well, and I'm also...
Okay, talking about people's penises, we're going to get to that in a minute. That's another clip.
Old enough to remember that if your fiscal plans were actually said to bankrupt the Social Security Trust Fund in sooner years, Donald Trump's, that would be a campaign-destroying issue. But we just gloss over things with Donald Trump. There's so much that's...
So that was Van Jones saying he gets to be lawless and she has to be flawless. The media, the corporate media tries to both sides everything. And he says just shit every day. Like, talking about Arnold Palmer's junk. And if they have to pick apart something she said, to find something to attack. She's got to be perfect. He can have 34 felony convictions. He can be, found guilty of fraud, tax fraud, and wire fraud, and bank fraud, and all of these different things, and found to have raped E. Jean Carroll by a jury. And yet somehow the media has to find a way to make, he's going to cosplay as a garbage worker. They've got to make this, well, he said, she said. It's such insanity. I 100% agree with Van Jones. He gets to be lawless and she has to be flawless. But let's talk about that. Talking about another man's penis. Yeah, this happened. Why is this race tied? Somebody explain it to me.
But Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. His man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it.
No, motherfucker, you did not have to say that. You did not have to talk about Arnold Palmer's penis. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm thinking back to my many years. Y'all, I'm 60. I'm the same age as Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. We all turned 60 this year. By the way, so did Stephen Colbert. So we're all 60. We've seen a lot. Never in my entire life have I seen the insanity that comes with this man, and yet somehow the polls are closed. How the fuck is this race not a landslide? Who the hell, I'm sorry, going back to the beginning of the show, if you are still supporting this man after he has Nazi rallies and brags about grabbing women by the pussy and talks about Arnold Palmer's penis, if you're still supporting them, you're fucking garbage. You're garbage. That is insane. I have never seen any one of the many things I've talked about today would have ended the political careers of anyone else ever in my entire 60 years. You look, there was one picture of Gary Hart with a swimsuit model on his lap. And that ended his political career, and he didn't even sleep with her. So this man, I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. I do want to mention one thing before we go, and then I've got some other things if we've got time for them. But one of my favorite actresses, one of the most talented in the world, Terry Garr, died last week. And I can't tell you how many of my favorite movies she was in. But, the list includes Young Frankenstein and Tootsie and Close Encounters of a Third Kind. So many great. She played Phoebe's mother on Friends. She had an astounding career in just hit movie after hit movie, and she was brilliant. So here's just a little clip from Young Frankenstein.
What knockers?
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
Oh, that's all right.
That was one clip from Young Frankenstein. I've got one more from Young Frankenstein that is from just slightly earlier in the movie, and it's just another with this movie. If you have not seen Young Frankenstein, you've got to watch it. It is absolutely brilliant and hilarious from start to finish. Here's Terry Garr.
Hello. Would you like to have a roll in the hay? It's fun. Roll, roll, roll in the hay.
And that was Terry Garr, again from Young Frankenstein. I just absolutely adore her. Rest in power, rest in humor. One of the funniest comedians of my lifetime. Unmatched and so beautiful and successful and funny in everything she did. I recommend every movie she's ever in. If you haven't seen Young Frankenstein, watch Young Frankenstein. If you haven't seen Tootsie, another great movie with Dustin Hoffman. If you haven't seen Close Encounters of a Third Kind, another great movie. These are Oscar-winning movies. They are amongst the greatest movies of all time, according to many people. That's just not me saying that. So, go binge watch after the election's over. Give yourself a treat and binge watch Terry Garr movies. You won't be disappointed in any of them. Oh, well, I still have a few minutes left, and I have a couple of campaign ads that I wanted to play. The first one is voiced by Julia Roberts, and it's pretty brilliant.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
I am not sure what happened to the video for that. All we got was the audio. But it has two women going in to vote. And, the husbands are kind of being a little ominous about it. And these two women lock eyes as they mark their ballots for Kamala Harris. And the husband's like, did you vote right? Sure did. and she and the other woman look at each other as they walk off. Well, then they, not to be outdone, then George Clooney, he voiced video, and it's a man thinking about his family and his daughter as he votes for Kamala Harris. All right, and once again, I'm not sure why, but it's not letting me show the video. I probably should have just pulled it up and played it in YouTube. But here is the video, George.
Come on, boys. Let's make America great again. It's your turn, buddy.
Before you cast your vote in this election, think about how it'll impact the people you care about the most.
Daddy!
Remember, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Do your patriotic duty?
You bet I did, brother.
What happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls.
Paid for by Vote Common Good.
All right. So yeah, we had that video too. These ads are all up on YouTube. It's Vote Common Good. Put together both of those ads with George Clooney, with Julia Roberts, and here's one from Mark Antony. I told you the fallout was huge from the comments about Puerto Rico. Well, Mark Antony, Julia Roberts, Bad Bunny, and a number of us other Puerto Rican Americans got really pissed. Some of the folks who had actually, like one rapper had been on stage with Trump at a rally a couple of months ago. He has pulled his endorsement and is now endorsing Kamala Harris. But here is a video made by Mark Antony.
This is Mark Antony. Even though some have forgotten, I remember what it was like when Trump was president. I remember what he did and he said about Puerto Rico, about our people.
Puerto Rico.
I remember after Hurricane Maria devastated our island, Trump blocked billions in relief while thousands died. I remember when our families lacked clean water and electricity, Trump threw paper towels and called Puerto Rico dirty and poor. I was not surprised, because I also remember that he launched his campaign by calling Latinos criminals and rapists. He told us what he'll do. He'll separate children from their families and threaten to use the army to do it. This election goes way beyond political parties. Let's remember what the United States represents and stands for. United, regardless of where we're from. I am Mark Antony, and I remember. That's why I support Kamala Harris for president.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
So that was Mark Antony. The cavalcade of stars that have come out with ads for Harris is unbelievable. And we've had so many different ones. There's a Harris Walls campaign ad that is to the tune of Think. I'm not going to play that one. We don't have enough time for all of these. But here is another good one. This time it's Will Ferrell, and another great ad. I love these. They're so great.
This election is going to be one of the closest in history. Your vote will make the difference. That means you, Gary. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm just one person. No, shut the up, Gary. Last time, only a few thousand votes kept Trump out of office. And this time, we will hold you personally responsible, Gary. Don't forget to vote, Gary.
So yeah, that was Will Ferrell. So many stars have made ads for her. And spoken at rallies for her. We had in the most Texas of Texas rallies, we had Beyonce and Willie Nelson speaking on her campaigning on her behalf. We've had Charlemagne the God. We've had Megan the Stallion. I mean, who's still supporting him? Here's a Lincoln Project ad called God Made a Dictator. And this is, you know what, I really don't have, I have a whole list of other ads and videos from, Lincoln Project to the Harris campaign. And they're all great. We don't have time for all of those because we're out of time. So I'm going to leave you with this. There is no sitting this one out. You need to go out tomorrow. If you have not already voted, either early or by mail, you need to go tomorrow. You need to vote. You need to vote all the way down the ballot. Because as I showed you, the plans, if the Republicans have Congress, is going to hurt you. And, gerrymandering happens in state legislatures. So we need to vote from the top of the ticket to the very bottom, the very last race. If there is a contested race, I don't care where it is on the battle, you vote for the Democrat. Amy, you shouldn't tell people how to vote. Yeah, I'm telling you how to vote. Because you're not garbage. You aren't. You're not garbage. You don't support men sexually assaulting women. Or, I've got a Mark Cuban talking about Trump bragging about ripping off vendors. That happened. We got a little bit of that in the trial. Don't sit this one out. Vote for Democrats from the top of the ticket to the bottom. And to sort of cleanse our palate, and I'm having trouble deciding what we're going to end with. We have a choice of Bohemian Rhapsody or a Kamala Medley by Chris Ham, or the Marsh Family's Bohemian Rhapsody, or Magadoo, which is to the tune of Xanadu by Randy Rainbow. Y'all know I love some Randy Rainbow. That was my costume for Halloween. I think we're going to end with Bohemian Rhapsody with the Marsh Family. But I'm going to remind you, get registered, get informed, get politically active, and go vote. And if you don't have anything nice to say, come sit next to me. Now here is the Marsh Family with Bohemian Rhapsody. How is this real life? Nope. That doesn't have the video. So I'm going to stop that and I'm going to pull up the other one. And all right. And this will be our last moment on the show. Here is our palate cleanser. Remember, get registered, get informed, get politically active, and go vote.
How is this real life? Wish it was fantasy. Ought to be landslide, not a race to the final week. Look in his eyes, it's up to you guys, you see. He's just a playboy, he feels no empathy, 'cause he's kind of dumb, kind of slow, little like shitty Joe. Every single swing vote really, really matters to liberty. Donald's a danger man. Watch him turn the country red, just an ego off its head. Donald's no Republican. You put him on a throne and there he'll stay. Donald, ooh, might seem a wacky guy, but how much crap this time you gotta swallow? You've been warned, Generals Kelly, Millie, Mattis.
You're never to take an oath to a president, king, a queen. You're not taking an oath to a dictator, or a wannabe dictator, or a tyrant.
Top-rated veterans, not considered feeble minds, served the White House for a time.
No ties to a party, and yet they wrote, if you leave Trump unrestrained, he'll cause abuse. Donald, ooh, think of Eisenhower or Reagan, Bush, you bet they'd be so distraught.
I see a Capitol or Charlottesville again. Grab a noose, it's a U.S. Gestapo.
Project 25 ain't very, very frightening me.
Rule of law, rule of law, rule of law, I think it's gone. It's just hyperbole, media's nasty.
They're just some libtards from account families. Tell us your lies about autocracy.
Fascism rodeo, will he get the votes this felon?
Oh, he still might get the votes. He still might get the votes. He still might get the votes. Still will bring the votes.
Never get the vote. No.
Have diarrhea about Georgia ballot
It's being so see, Donald Trump isn't ever gonna set you free. You free, you free.
Do you think Nikki Haley was too sane and dry? Do you think that Ukrainians might as well die? Oh, maybe. Don't be one of the crazy. Just gotta break out. Just get the third rank out of here.
matters. All the world can see. Don't let in the fascists.
Trump's not fit for presidency.
Trump is such an arsehole.